Oh, in this video, we're going to take a look at how we can deploy your Node and React application onto the web using Firebase for the front end and Heroku for the backend. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your port has this line here. So what this line says is basically if this exists, use it. Otherwise, use 4000. And the reason for this is that Heroku uses its own port. It assigns a port to you. It will not accept that you force it to use 4000. Okay, so once that is done, you want to be going on Heroku and you want to be creating a new project. Then you want to head over to deploy. You want to install the Heroku CLI and you want to download these installers. And what this will do is if you go, once you've done with the installation, you should be able to go in your terminal and do Heroku-V and see something. You should see the version. So this enables you to use the Heroku functionalities in your terminal. So once that's done, you want to do Heroku login. So it says press any key to open up the browser to log in. You press a key. And that's it. You're now logged into Heroku. So then the next step is you want to specify the build pack of your application. You want to tell Heroku this is a Node application. So this is the one for PHP, but we're just going to replace PHP with Node. Okay. Maybe I need to do... Okay, before we jump into this, I would like to explain how this is going to work. So we are going to create a new Git repository. And very much like GitHub, we're going to push our code onto the Heroku Git in the very similar fashion than what you used to with GitHub. The main difference is on the last line. So instead of git push origin master, you're going to write git push Heroku master. So that's it. So actually, so first of all, oh yeah, I think I know why it didn't work. You have to make sure that you are in your server folder and not on the global folder that holds both your client and your server. So once you're here, you want to do git init, and then you want to copy this line that's in the deploy page, which sets up the remote of that particular Heroku project. Perfect. Now let's see if the build pack works. No, invalid build pack. That's kind of weird. Okay. Your GitHub URL. I wish they had an example. Let's see if Stack Overflow has an answer. Heroku build pack node. Okay. Oh, it's because I don't have a package JSON. That makes sense. So I was just using like a small example project, and I guess I never did npm init. Okay. So now if I do, so in your case you probably didn't have an error. In your case you probably would just go git init and then git remote, which we took from the project page, and then git add dot git commit. Before I go on, I just want to say, make sure that you have a git ignore inside of this server folder that ignores your node modules. Otherwise, you're going to push them all. So if you did git add and added all of your node module, you can just do git reset. Here. You can just do git reset. Then in your server folder, you create a new file, which is called .gitignore. And here you just type /node modules and you save. That's all. Now, if you do git add dot, you should see that it didn't add the node modules, if it did in the first place. Okay. So I'm just doing the regular git add dot, git commit, and now I'm going to do git push Heroku master. And it did detect that it was a node project, which is great. Bit succeeded. Okay, so if I go back to this page, if you click on more here and view logs, here, let me just turn on dark mode. You can, so this is just like your terminal. If you run your server locally, you see your console logs in here, you see your app listening on port, whatever. You see here the port that Heroku assigned to me, 39,000. So my server is basically now running on this remote, well, on the web. If you want to know the address of your server, you can click on Open App, which doesn't get to anywhere because it's a backend, but you can copy this. And so let's see if I run my client. See if I'm able to reach that server, which is no longer local, but on the web. Okay, let's just... So this is my front end. Here I have a fetch. You can see that previously I was fetching to the local server. And now you basically want to add this. Of course, you can just go over all of your fetches and just do that manually. That's not really best practice. Otherwise, you probably have something like this, and you are using maybe a proxy in here. The issue with this is that once in production, proxy no longer works. So you know, it just doesn't work. So you have to find another way to like maybe change your server address at one place and that it propagate everywhere. So what I recommend is in src, you can create a new file. It can be constants, it can be IP, doesn't matter. I usually call it constants. And in here, you would do export IP or const IP, and then you put in, the address of your server. And you can do this while you're still developing. You just have to put localhost 4000 in here. And when comes the time to deploy it, you just change the address. So now, everywhere that you're using fetch, you want to be importing this. So you want to do import curly brackets, because it's not a default import. It's just a constant. Import IP from / constants. And we can do something like IP plus / upload files. That's not very elegant though. I like backticks. We can do something like this. I think that looks good. Yeah, let's see if it works. So if I choose a file and I click upload, let's see what my backend says. So we did get the request. I don't know if it went through though. In theory, when I ping upload files, I should get this log here. I don't think. Oh. Seems like there's 2 slashes here. Did I make a mistake? Oh, yeah. There was an extra slash here. Let's try that again. Upload. Now I go to my server. Perfect. You see, I had console logs here. I'm logging the path of the where the file was uploaded, and I have this callback thing. So basically, I'm reaching the server, which is awesome. And I don't know if you watched my previous video on how to upload files, but in theory, if I take the name of my server, I cannot get. Oh yeah, because this needs to be static. Nice. So my picture has been uploaded on the internet. Picture of me and my little brother. So that's awesome, right? Okay, so now we know that the front end is able to reach our backend, which lives on the web. So let's host our actual front end on the web as well. So in order to do this, you want to go on Firebase and add a new project. Okay. You're going to need Firebase CLI for this. I think if you go in hosting, which is the service we're going to use, and click get started, yeah, it gives you instruction how to install it. It should be very straightforward. So npm install global Firebase tools, which should enable you to use the keyword Firebase. So I'm going to try Firebase-V, and I should be Firebase-H for help. Yeah, there we go. So, I know that this is a valid namespace in my global variables. So just follow the steps here in install Firebase CLI. You can click next. Then it tells you that you need to log in. So you need to go Firebase login. So it says I'm already logged in, but in your case, Windows is probably going to pop up. Then I want to do, make sure you're in the client folder and not on the global one. You're going to do Firebase init. And Okay, are you ready to proceed? Yes, I am. You want to use the down arrow, go to hosting, press space, and then enter. You want to press enter on use an existing project. You want to grab the one you just created. Okay, so this part is really important. Because it's a React app, we have to change, it's going to ask you 3 questions, and you have to answer them correctly. So what do you want to use as your public directory? When you build your app, it's your HTML file is going to go in a folder called build. Is it build or builds? I think it's builds. Not sure anymore. Okay, let's build it first, just to be sure. So in order to build your project, you're going to do npm run build. Even before we do that, for some reason, when you're ready to build, you need to add this line to your package.json of your client. You need to add home page, and then its value is a string with a dot. Don't ask me why. So now that that's done, I can do npm run build. Oh, did I? Okay, there was a mistake in my package.json. That's why it crashed. Okay, it's creating it. Perfect. So you can go in your projects folder by just clicking any file at all. And on Windows, it's going to be revealed in Explorer. On Mac, it's going to be revealed in Finder. And then you just have to double click on index.html. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you have to go in client, build, and then index. And there you go. That's my app. And it's no longer running on a development server. It's the actual my actual project has been built into HTML with JavaScript files and CSS files. Okay, and now I want to send this HTML file over to Firebase. So, where were we? We were doing Firebase init. Am I ready to proceed? Yes. I'm going to navigate to hosting, space, enter. I want to use an existing project. Select the right one. Okay, what do you want to use as your public directory? I can see now that the name of the folder is build with no S. Okay, build. Do I want to configure this as a single page app? It's a React app, so yes. Do I want to overwrite build/index.html? No, I don't want to do that. And that's it. And now, if I do Firebase deploy, it's going to send this HTML file to our Firebase hosting URL. Okay, and it says, here's my hosting URL. I can just click on it. And this is my project on the internet. And if I do choose file, upload, I go on Heroku, you can see it did ping my server correctly. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it.